This video is being brought to you by Patreon support. Thank you guys for all the people that support me on Patreon. If you want to support me on Patreon, it's only $1 a month or whatever you feel like doing. It's up to you. But if you want to support me, it really helps out the channel a lot. It helps me get cool stuff like what I'm covering today on the channel. So thank you guys again for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. And on with the video. Okay, immediately with this video, I don't really remember a lot about this show because it's been a little bit since I've actually sat down and watched it, because honestly season 2 of this show is pretty bad, but like the first season is actually pretty decent, all things considering. It's still not great, but I have some good nostalgia for this series I'm going to talk about. So just take this video with just pure entertainment value, me talking about this show and my memories of it, and just try to enjoy it for what it is. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you do, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. Anyway, let's get on to the video and talk about this bad boy. If it wasn't tangled up in my microphone wire. Double Dragon, the animated series. So, and this is a Blu-ray release. They did release it on DVD. I don't have that anymore. I upgraded to this. But let's get into it here. So, Double Dragon kind of holds a special place in my nostalgia bone, heart, slash, whatever. Like, I have fond memories of watching this show with my younger brother. And if by some weird coincidence he actually stumbles across this video or watches my videos for some reason, I hope he will at some point. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to share this video with him to see if he actually remembers like watching it when he was younger, because he watched it because we watched it on with reruns on, I believe it was like Sci-Fi or like USA Network or something like that. And I loved it as a kid. I loved it, especially I think they only showed like the first season, so that's the season I really have a lot of nostalgia for, because that's what I remember. And if you don't know what Double Dragon is, like, where have you been? Like, Double Dragon is one of the staples of like the beat 'em up brawler genre. So it's based on that, based on Billy and Jimmy, and Marion is like a cop, I believe. I think she's a cop or something like that in the animated series. And like a Bobo is in it, but his skin's like blue for some reason. I don't know. The show's really weird. And there's a guy named Sickle, like, is it Ice Pick? There's a ton of weird characters. And then the one standout character is the Shadow Master, which is like the main like boss of or main antagonist of like the first season. Like I said, the second season I really don't remember too much of, and I'll get into why that is. But the first season I do vividly remember. Like, it started out kind of weird because like Billy and Jimmy, or Billy specifically, has this dojo where he trains kids, like the Double Dragon Dojo. He trains like kids, martial arts, whatever. And it kind of has that Saturday morning cartoon feel to it, because there's always at the end of like a section of an episode or an episode, they're always doing messages like, "Don't do drugs," or "If you see somebody blah 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 in trouble, get help," or something like that. Kind of like Captain Planet and like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and other shows of that nature did in that vein. So that was kind of annoying watching it as an adult, because the last time I watched it was probably like 2014, like right before I met Scott McNeil, who actually did the voice of Jimmy, and I actually got the Jimmy Lee figure signed by him, which was really cool. He was like, I didn't even know they made figures of this. I'm like, I did because I had Jimmy Loose growing up, but I never kept it sealed. But I have that signed. That's actually in storage. I wish I had it here to show you guys, but I don't. I could. I'll put up the picture of my wife and him, our picture together that we got. Funnily enough, the second time we met him, we didn't get a picture the second time. I don't believe we did. If we did, I don't have it on my PC. My wife might have that picture. If we did, I honestly don't remember. But the second time we met him, he's like, I remember you guys. You guys were engaged. Have you got married yet? And we're like, yeah, we actually brought our wedding album for you to look at if you want to look at it. And so it was kind of neat that he actually like looked through our wedding album. It was kind of neat, kind of a sweet little moment there we had with him. He's a really sweet guy, by the way. But anyway, enough talking about me meeting Scott McNeil. But going back to the series, so it's very very loosely based on Double Dragon. They have like these the motorcycles and like what the hell was it? They called it the Dragon Cycles, and then what was the car they had called? It had a name, damn it! I don't remember because there's a freaking toy, but it's like a giant box. Oh, what was it called? I don't remember. Anyway, it was a car that it had like freaking missiles that would shoot out. I don't know. The show was really weird. It was very, very loosely based on the Double Dragon property, but it did have a game. It did have a game made about it called Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls, which, good sweet God, that game is probably the most hot garbage like Double Dragon game you could ever play in your life. Like that, it's better than it's worse than Double Dragon 3 on NES, and that game's pretty bad. But like, for the love of God, why did? Well, okay, one, why did they make it a fighting game? Like, why? Like the Neo Geo already had a fighting game that came out later on that was way better than that. That was loosely based on the movie, very loosely, but it was way freaking better than that. I don't know if it came out like before that or after Double Dragon 5, but at any rate, that fighting game is way better than that. Like leagues better than that. Like, why didn't they make it a beat 'em up? That would have made a kick-ass beat 'em up game, I think. Like I always wanted a beat 'em up game based around the cartoon, at least the first season, just with like Shadow Master and all that stuff. And they kind of did that with Battletoads Double Dragon because there's a boss in that game called Shadow Boss, and he kind of looks like a more gruff, tough version of Shadow Master. At least that's what I think they're kind of based it on, but I'm not entirely sure. But I always wish they would have made a beat 'em up game like when I was a kid, based on this. But you know, every episode they try to thwart the Shadow Master. But going back to what I was saying before, early on in the series, Jimmy is actually being controlled by the Shadow Master, and Billy is trying to break his control over him because they both have the mark of the dragon, and they have these swords that if they cross the swords together and say "for might, for right, we are Double Dragon," and yes, that's literally what they say. I vividly remember that because my brother and I used to do that all the time when we were kids, like just messing around, and it was just stupid fun being kids. But like, we did that so much, and my dad would even get in on it because like my dad being my dad, he's a big kid like he always is. and we would just mess around and wrestle around, and he would of course play like the Shadow Master, a Bobo, or some big boss character, and we would just roughhouse and be dumb. But it's one of the memories I have with watching the show. We'd always mess around after watching it because it was super cool to like reenact stuff like that when you were a kid. But that's what you did. Um, but yeah, but God, so many memories of doing that though. But anyway, so eventually he breaks the hold that Shadow Master has on him, and then they harness the power of the Double Dragon, and it makes them stronger for like I don't I don't know if they explain like if it's like they can control how long it is, or if it's like time frame based. I have no idea. I don't remember if they ever like say, but like that they kind of have their swords get like beams and stuff like that. It's very wonky and weird. It's a weird take on Double Dragon, but overall, the first season is actually pretty decent. I say decent because when I watched the last time I watched it, and I do plan to like sometimes sit down and watch this again. This is only one disc. The standard DVD version of this is 3 discs, so it is kind of nice having just all in one compact packaging instead of just pulling out like one disc with 6 episodes. Another disc was like 10 episodes or whatever. It's just all on one disc. But that being said, oh my god, I have the hiccups. 1 second. Okay, sorry, I had the hiccups. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then going into season 2, I don't remember much about season 2 because it got so freaking weird. And by weird, I mean like they started like going down the sewer. Dog here. Blech. Anyway, they started going down the sewer, and they met like this um cat dude. I think his name was like Raj or something like that. It was something weird, and like he would like team up with the Double Dragons to like stop Bobo, Sickle, and um, Trigger Happy or whatever his name was, and Jawbreaker. Um, Basically the bumbling idiots of the show, basically. Um, and there. I think there was like a female antagonist or antagonists in the second season. Like I said, I really don't remember that much because I only remember watching season 2 like from back when I watched it back in like 2014, 2015, whenever it was. But that's it. Like other than that, I don't really remember too much of it because it just wasn't good. It was weird because the other thing that really turned me off of it is the new powers they got from their swords. I think it was their swords. Like they got these metal armor suits, and it was like it looked like almost like they were kind of spoofing like Gundam or like Transformers in a way because it was literally like they were like a mech suit kind of thing, and it was just weird. I was like, "What is this? Why are they taking this in such a weird freaking direction?" So I don't remember too much of season 2. I do remember it being pretty bad. That's why, like, if I watch the show again, I'll probably watch like the first like 12 episodes, however long the first season is, because I just didn't enjoy, or I don't remember enjoying any of season 2. It was just dumb. they just took it in a weird direction. Which I mean, to be completely real with you, like, what can you honestly do with a property like Double Dragon? Like, story wise, like, there's not much there, to be honest. Like, I would have liked it if they would have incorporated some like original Double Dragon bosses, like Machine Gun Willie, they did a Bobo, Duke from Super Double Dragon, trying to remember some of the other ones, um, Linda, for instance, stuff like that. Like, why didn't they do stuff like that? That would have been so much better instead of like trying to make your own original like idea. Like I said, the first season wasn't terrible. Like the whole Shadow Master idea wasn't terrible because he was actually a formidable like opponent for them. But come to think of it, did they actually ever like really defeat him? I honestly don't remember. I just remember having a lot of nostalgia for this show, and that's why I wanted to pick this up on Blu-ray. So thank you guys on Patreon for like allowing me to get this. I've had this for like a few months, and I just not am doing a video on it because I was on the fence about it because I was like, I don't remember that much about the show, but I have enough nostalgia for it to make a video about it and reminisce about how much fun I had watching it growing up. And just like with anything, like when you're a kid and you watch a show, you love it, but like you watch it again as an adult and you realize like, wow, this show really hasn't aged that well. Like there's countless shows like that. Like The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3. That show, great show, cool concept, but hasn't really aged that gracefully. I'll get into that show in another video because I do want to talk about that show as well. But anyway, that'll do it for this quick little vid on Double Dragon, the animated series. If you guys want to pick it up, it's literally like $15. Netflix did have this streaming at one point, and they took it off. And plus, when they had it, all the episodes were in a really screwed up order, so it's probably a good thing they took it off. So, yeah. But if you want to watch it, it's like super cheap to like just pick up and give it a watch. Like if you're a fan of Double Dragon, give it a chance. It's better. I'll give you this recommendation. It's better than the movie. I'll give that this accolade. It's better than the movie. You know what? Let me show you guys the artwork real quick on this. Let me pull up my camera real quick. There we go. Sorry for that super high sharpness, but you'll get the idea. I like the glossy cover. The cover art's kind of cool, to be honest. Like, I do like the cover art. It's kind of neat. But the really cool thing is the disc. I'll show you guys the disc. But there is a weird special feature on here that's not on the DVD, which is like tips and tricks for Double Dragon 5. I don't know why it's on there, but it's kind of cool that it is. But yeah, and this slipcover is kind of cool, like how small and tiny it is. I don't know. I love slipcovers. Like if they're supposed to have slipcovers, I always try to get DVDs that are supposed to have them with them. So I'm a nerd like that. But it's the same thing, and it is a reversible cover as well. But the cool thing is what the disc is modeled after it. It's kind of cool. It kind of looks like an NES card. So that is kind of cool. I do kind of like that. And let me put this down right here. And I'll see if I can show you guys the inside art. I don't feel like taking it out and switching it again, but you guys can kind of see the inside art. Or the reversible cover. So there you go. Anyway, that was my video on Double Dragon, the animated series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Again, Shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. I love you guys so much. You guys mean the world to me. I really do appreciate you guys' support. Anyway, shout out to go to Matt Y99, Reaper7734, Taito Takao, AJ Katawa, Oliver Frederick, Zoal Atfi, It's Me, Charles, Joe, William Swift, Griff17, Charlie McKeon, Reverse Security, Zoo Hall, Artistic Tomahawk, Preliab, Just Drew, Ariama Insane, HHG Fan, George McConnell, Elliot Scott, Benjamin Tellen, and Mac Luisaro. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really helps out a lot, and my dog is video bombing me again, but whatever. She always does that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and as the Double Dragons say, we are Double Dragons! I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? I'm an idiot. See you guys later.